This is the Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo. That is the Triple OG. Willie Mason in mourning, black glasses, black top. The death of the Bulldogs, they're done. Lukey Stowe, the bro Lukey Stowe, he's here. Mace, last week we started with the Broncos and Raiders because of the circumstances. This week we are going to start with the Bulldogs and Panthers, but I'll just get through one comment about the footy coming up this weekend. So, mate, do you want to take the glasses off for some positivity?
I'm just trying to hide the tears, you know?
For some positivity?
Trying to hide the tears.
Can we start with a little bit of positivity?
Of course.
I want you to put it back off for the Bulldogs, the whole segment.
I will.
The whole segment. All right, this one comes from Tim Frederick. Now, boys, tell me
what you want.
There we go. Tell me this is not worth a bender. I dare you. Friday, 7:50 p.m, Storm vs Sharks NRL prelim. Saturday, 2:30 p.m, Geelong vs Brisbane AFL Grand Final. 3 p.m, All Blacks vs the Wallabies. 4 p.m, North Devils versus the Burleigh Bears in the Queensland Cup Grand Final. Sunday, you're still going. Day 3 is better than day 2. 11 a.m.
One of the greats said that.
Storm versus Panthers under-21s into the grand... that's the grand final for the under-21s. We got UFC Perth with headlined by Carlos Alberg and Reyes. Wow. That's your bread and butter there, Lukey, and you like your UFC as well, Mace. 3:15 p.m, the Waz go up against St George Illawarra Dragons New South Wales Cup. That Waz team has been on fire, and they absolutely pumped... Who'd they pump on the weekend? It's escaping me. Parra. They pumped Parra on the weekend, who had a pretty good lineup too, considering some of the guys that had gone up to first grade. And then we'll finish off with this. You're going to tune into SEN Sync, the Broncos versus Penrith NRL preliminary final.
That's a bender coming up if you're in your 20s, 30s.
That's a good weekend of sport.
That is a great weekend.
That's a good weekend of sport.
I love this part. I love this time of the year. And then throw in the NFL.
Are you NFL Monday?
Yeah.
If you want to
come on, man.
Red zone.
Keep going.
Well, at the moment, because in my dynasty fantasy that I play, I've traded away all my basically all my veterans and got heaps of draft picks. So I've been watching heaps of college ball this year. Oklahoma, John Mateer, Miami Hurricanes are back. They're 4-0. They're playing well. Right. So I've been watching so I might be able to sneak some college ball in on Sunday as well. Carlos Alberg, he's in the UFC on Sunday, Lukey.
He is fighting on the Sunday. I haven't watched him fight of his for a while, but he's sort of up next in that Stylebenders division.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Taking that mantle.
Yeah. So from the same gym too, right?
Yep.
CKB. What a weekend of footy. Before we move off this quickly, pardon me, huge advantage for the Storm versus Sharks game. The winner of that coming out and getting 9 days recovery. Compared to
that's huge.
That's going to be huge for the Friday night game.
And and the next game Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
Because of the AFL Grand Final.
Yeah. Oh. Because of Snoop Dogg.
God damn you, the DOGG. 2 days at this time of the year, it is a lot. But, depending who they are playing, if it's Penrith, if it's...
it doesn't matter who's playing, who's not, mate. That doesn't factor in.
I don't think Penrith, it bothers Penrith. I don't think so.
But it's...
I think it bothers Broncos more because they're not on a level where Penrith are.
It's not about bothering them, mate. It's about affecting them. So, like...
you think it'll affect Penrith?
You can have a mindset... So on the weekend, for example, I was watching the Penrith game. Casey McLean, we'll get in this in a little bit. Yeah. Casey McLean come off with 15 minutes to go. Looked to be hobbling, but not maybe precautionary. Liam Martin looked to land on his shoulder. 48 hours recovery could be huge, mate. If something like that happens to go into this week, now they've got a full 7-day turnaround because that was yesterday. But a 7-day turnaround compared to a 9-day turnaround is, in my opinion, unacceptable by the NRL.
I totally agree. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. It just sucks, and what do you do about it, right? And I think both sides. If you're from Brisbane, you're from Penrith. If you win the game, you get 7 days. 7 days is still decent. It's not 9. Still a week. Usually they're programmed off a week, and they know how to get to that level. Hopefully both teams come unscathed, right? If they get through that game.
I understand avoiding the
what the fuck are we like? Who cares if the AFL Grand Final's on?
I think
go against it.
I think you got to factor that in. So you got the All Blacks and Wallabies. Yeah, that's fine. But how about this? Like That's on at 2:30. Would roughly finish around 4:35 when they do the ceremony. The All Blacks and Wallabies are playing the first leg. Is it the Bledisloe, right?
Bledisloe, yeah.
It's the Bledisloe. So that's at 3:55 p.m. Why couldn't they?
Why can't they play a 6:30 game?
6:37.
Or even
what?
8. Just
No, a 7 o'clock game on Saturday, done.
Yeah.
Volandis could have pulled, Volandis make shit happen.
Maybe they want the whole day to themselves when essentially AFL and Union will be competing against each other.
I guess
for numbers.
so.
Hoz, yes. That's it.
It's the broadcasters.
It's exactly about that. It's exactly about views, and it's not giving a fuck about any of the players. That's all it is.
Yep.
It's about views, and that's about it. And we want to stand alone and get all those views.
Well, we want to stand alone with our views, our subscriptions, people liking, people following us, people commenting in our YouTube. So I want to give everyone, thank everyone. So I've just got a bit of growth, a bit of Eric, junior or senior, whichever way you want to go on our growth on YouTube this year. So we've jumped another 1,000 since round 22, heading into the finals. We've got another 1,000 on Instagram, and all of that stuff helps. So if you're watching right now, you're a new fan, you wanted to see Mason's reaction on the Bulldogs, which is coming up straight after this, like, subscribe, follow on all platforms. Apple and Spotify are available as well, and really appreciate your support. We love to level up here at Levels Network. So let's get to the game, mate. We're going to start with the Penrith Panthers, and I'm going to start with a comment from YouTube from Kata Tia. And I think I stuff his name up. He's said it before in the comments. He's L1 from day one, that's for sure. Sitting here watching the Panthers show why you can steal the players but not the blueprint. Yeah. As much as I love the Doggies, the Panthers are just on another level. If, and a very big if, the Panthers go all the way, can you not consider Ivan the GOAT coach? The fact that it is the worst year in 6 years for him, and they're in a prelim looking at another grand final, this has to solidify him as the guy, as one of the best minds in the history of the NRL. His IQ, ability to bring a team together, knowing and trusting who to play and who to let go. I think it's not even close. L1 since day one, baby. Too much Penrith glaze nearly made me forget. It's up the waz next year.
No, I mean, GOAT is a big statement, right?
You got to consider him, though.
I do consider him up there with the top 5 coaches already.
Yep.
Right. So there's no doubt about that.
He's definitely on your Mount Rushmore, isn't he? Top 4?
Yeah, he is. He's just, but he's give it time. Give him another 10 years and see what happens. If he just say he's on the way to nearly potentially winning another 5 in a row in today's era of how competitive it is, how even it's supposed to be, the salary cap era, everything, and you still manage to do it. So I'm not sleeping on his ability and how he's got a beautiful team out there, not team as in players, but the team surrounding him, his SNCs, his physios, he's got everybody. He's got everybody out there these players know exactly what they're doing, right? How many minutes they're doing every single session. It's so methodical out there. That's why they've all got all their big guns at the end of the year. It is a miracle how they've had this, right? It is a miracle. How many teams this year were like, shit, man, the Warriors are a chance. No Metcalf, no Barnett, no, and then fuck around, about three or four injuries here and there. South, they look all right. 12 starters out, right? Bulldogs, we missed Critter. We got, Carraz was in and out. You just don't have a full complement of players. It is a prelim right now, and they have everyone available. Liam Martin will play. He just went off because he probably just, he fucked his AC joint. He'll probably just jab him. He'll be fine, right? Okay. I think that's it. That is unbelievable. Okay, who else? Melbourne Storm. Jerome Hughes is out. You've had people in and out of that team, and there's a chance he might play, right? There's a chance or whatever. But I think he won't play. He broke his fucking wrist. Mars suspended. And that's another thing. Not suspended as well because they're so disciplined, this team. And it's you can say they got the best team and the best roster in the comp, but fuck no. It has to do with something with that whole club. The coaching is fucking impeccable. The timing, and they're so methodical within their training, and whatever the fuck is out there is incredible. So I do I don't disrespect Ivan Cleary and what he's done out there. I don't put him as the GOAT because these other guys like Bellamy and Wayne Bennett just sit above him because they've been doing it for 20 plus years, 30 years over for Wayne, right? 1,000 games coach. Ivan Cleary's going to be there. Just give him time.
Okay, I agree with. Often this is the part that where me and you are a little bit different. You like to take your time. You like to see a full resume. And I probably get a little bit too carried away sometimes and like to anoint people before they actually get to the point. Here's an argument that I want to factor in with Ivan. Ivan's been doing this for 20 years now. He did a good job at the Warriors when other coaches have not been as successful. The West Tigers stint's a weird one. He was there for 2 years, and by the time he'd left, he got him to 9th. Then you sort of roll into what's happening here. I know you need to wait to see, like he could potentially win more, but he's creating history right now while we're living in it.
While you're talking, I keep forgetting that he debuted in 2006.
He's been around for 20 years.
No,
mate.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and I think people only think he's been coaching for 6. Because of what's happened out in Penrith. They forget about the Tigers thing. They forget about the Warriors. They forget about like what he's done. You know, I do. I have.
You sometimes forget?
This is his second tenure at Penrith.
You know why I don't forget? Because he was the assistant coach at the Roosters when I was playing 20s there.
Right.
So that's when he, straight out of his playing days, he went straight into an assistant coach role. I believe he was coaching... I believe it was him and Flano. One of the two with Ricky were the assistant coaches. So he's been around for
give him his flowers. I give him his flowers. I know there's something special out there, and it ain't because of this. You know, Ciro is a great defensive coach. You know, he had Webby was out there doing a little bit of attack here and there, like doing their apprenticeship out there. Both those coaches are great.
Awesome, love them.
Everybody who's been underneath the tree.
Super long.
So Ivan Cleary has his own tree.
Yeah.
That is something to say, right?
That's another
because Wayne Bellamy.
You know why? You know why I say Wayne Bellamy? Because we've been talking about Wayne and Bellamy for so long.
And Belly's under the Wayne Bennett tree, and then he's created his own. Brian Smith had his own because he had other coaches come underneath him.
The Robbos, Daniel Andersons of the world.
Yeah. Ricky Stewart has his own tree. You know what I mean? So there's only a certain few that coach in a certain different way where they just trickle down
Tim
under
Sheens
other
has a
things.
tree.
Tim Sheen was the king of the tree. He was, Jack Gibson, Warren Ryan, all these guys, mate. They're all fucking from the 80s. The game got sort of created in the 80s when it got split into left fours, right fours, in the middles. And then it's just obviously just gone to another level with the coaches of the brains, the involving of the NRL. And he's at the top of the list at the moment.
He's right up there.
Right? So
He's right up there. I'm not willing to say GOAT.
No, GOAT. But he's on the fucking Mount Rushmore. Jeez.
Clearly
you cannot win 4 in a row.
You know how you're big on like the milestone stuff? Did they celebrate 500 club games for Ivan the other week? Because he's got 476 regular season and 29 finals. So he's clocked over 500.
Well, probably. Maybe in-house they did that.
Yeah, but you know how the rigmarole, like the...
I know, look, they're the best at it.
That's my point. Like I don't see that. You
But
normally see that.
if you remember,
Very humble.
I'm telling you, boys, I keep telling you, go back and watch the documentaries. He allowed access, but it felt like he allowed access to exactly what he wanted to have be shown.
That's what you should do.
But he's quite a reserve. I feel like he's a bit of an introvert, like reserve sort of
I think so.
character.
Same as Nathan.
So I reckon they would have celebrated something potentially in house, but maybe didn't put it on socials.
He doesn't like the whole...
I don't know. Maybe Panthers fans, let us know if there's
because
anything.
other
you
coaches
two
like
would
500
know
games.
because you're
I
all
would've thought-
over socials, Lukey, and you didn't hear shit.
Yeah.
Right? So they didn't celebrate it.
Yeah. Did you watch the clip of Mansour and Tim Zoo yesterday that came out? You would have been too busy.
Yep.
This is super. He was interviewing Tim Zoo.
I was crying in the suite.
I went and spoke to the boys, and we had a
Talking about being Blues camp.
photos and everything. And all the boys were like, "Yeah, brah, yeah, brah, yeah, brah."
Is that Fox? I'm sure the would have been one of the guys.
Yeah,
come
probably.
up,
Yeah, mad energy. Everyone was so cool. Yeah. But Nathan Cleary came up to me after and just started asking me about all these different little things, like the 1%ers. What do you eat for breakfast? What do you do post your fight? What do you do before you fight? You know, and I started asking him the same thing just to be able to, I don't know, have someone to relate to.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because, you know, he really looks for the little 1%ers, how to get his game better. And I really respected that. And he is probably the MVP right now.
Yeah.
In,
I just thought it was interesting.
in NRL.
Everyone else.
Do you want to crack your Red Bull can for our OG Bull before we get into the game then? Yeah. That's awesome. Nice little segue. That's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got a note here that relates exactly to that. But you go, you tell us why Nath was your OG Bull of the week.
I mean, I hate to go against my Bulldogs, but like what I saw out there was a guy who was on another fucking stratosphere. All right? I said it all week. They've got Nathan Cleary, and he's a problem. You know what I mean? He went out there. His kicking game was outstanding. The way that he just like had the ball. Every time he had the ball, he knew exactly which way to go, where our weaknesses were, which were on the edges, right? And he exploited them. He let the big boys do their job at the start. Leota, Lindsay, Isaiah Yo was just playing tough. And the combinations and how they all know what they're doing every single play is outstanding. And it's mainly because of him. Every trigger he pulled, come off. The kicking game, the 40-20, the defense. Let's spot Nathan Cleary out, make him tired. No, you're going to put up on your back. You're going to end up on your back. The leadership that he shows, the passion that he showed, he wanted that game. He wanted to make a statement to everybody going, fucking, you must have forgotten. Like, this is my fucking team, and I'm going to fucking take us all the way. And that's what it looked like. It looked like that for me. Just even staring, like at the game, I'm just like, fuck, he's on another level. This kid, like, no, a totally different level. Like from our players to even like his players, like he was way above everybody else. Like they just had to keep up and just push up with him. Your boy's on fire. Your boy's on. So let's just fucking follow. He's defending like a machine. His kicking game was outstanding. Everything he touched, ball playing, backing up, scoring tries. I'm just like, man, this is it. Like if they had that old rugby league week, it's a 10.
Yeah.
He'd give out a 10. I'd give him a 10.
Yeah.
I saw some fucking I think the Telegraph gave like their fucking ratings. Fucking shut up.
What'd they give him?
Well, they gave Reed Marnie a 2. They gave Cleary a 10, which is a great. But why give Reedy a 2? Just shut up. Don't rate it all anyway, you journo. But he is out and out the best player in the comp. I don't care how many Dally M's he hasn't won. He's just the best player in the world.
So
he is my OG Red Bull King of the Week.
Look at my note under Nathan Cleary for.
What did he do? I didn't even look.
So you can see there, Red Bull, see?
His ice cold reaction.
So over the last 2 weeks, I've been lucky enough to call a couple of games on the Sundays. Last week was awesome to be a part of that atmosphere, the Broncos versus Canberra Raiders. And to be fair, due to the circumstances of the victory, the energy and the excitement and how everyone was pumped up in comparison to interviewing the Panthers players after the game, right? And I've got to clarify that the circumstances were. Like you understand why the Broncos team would be pumped up. When I got to Nath, similar to what Tim was saying there, it was super locked in, super detailed. Like it was kind of eerie, like walking around and chatting to him. Go up to Mitch Kenny and try to, I'm trying to get content. I'm trying to get a reaction and get excited about going to Broncos. Mitch Kenny said to me. I said, well, what's going to serve you well for, over the last 5 or 6 years going up to Brisbane? And it's a huge task. You know him well. You got the job done here in 2023. He goes, all we worry about is tomorrow and how we best recover and how we tick the box for tomorrow. We don't worry about the Broncos on Friday or Sunday or whatever it is. It's been about being the best version of ourselves. So straight away, I'm like, fuck, like there we go. Like that's Mitch Kenny. That's how detailed they are from. Like you said before, Mace, Dylan Edwards all the way down to member 30. And then I get to Nath, comes over, happy, sort of calm, relaxed,
over the top,
like locked in. and it's next job. That's that. I wrote down. I've got ice cold reaction from Nath after the game, and it was just locked in. Next job, tick that box, and we go again.
Let me. I was speaking to the 8th Immortal this morning about his performance, about Bulldogs' performance, which we'll get to, and he goes. He just said every single it's so like every single player on that Penrith team know exactly what they're doing in every single play. Where on a reverse, on our side, no one looked like they knew what they were fucking doing, right? Where he goes, that's just all from Nath knowing exactly. When they fall into formation quicker than every single team, right? They know exactly if they're going on their left side, Yoey's going to go, boom, it's going to be out to the Nath. It's going to be out to Nath and straight to Blaze Talangi. And on the right, it's going to be straight out to Cleary and straight, do you know what I mean? They're falling into formation straight away, right? It's unbelievable how they do that. And he just said, and I always say, I said, look, he's a hybrid JT, Andrew Johns with a Cooper Cronk structure. That's what he has, and that's Nathan Cleary. I've been saying that for ages, and like he's just picked the brains and watched so much football and gone, what could I take out of Andrew Johns' game? What can I take out of JT's game? And what can I get out of Cooper Cronk's game? And that's what you got. You got Nathan Cleary.
He's super impressive. I just lost the train of thought there. The start. What did you say there at the start about? Oh, yeah,
formation.
That's it. The formation and the start of the year, the slow start. It makes sense, right, Joey's? When you look at the start of the year, the first 10 weeks, it was inserting Blaze Talangi into their structure. And that's the part.
And how to. How can I get him into structure?
Yeah.
What sort of play is he? He played fullback. He played centre. He played wing. What are his strengths, right? He has to learn the defensive structure, first of all, become a good defender. He earned all that. And now I can pass him the ball with faith.
Yep.
Right? When he's coming out the back of Yoey hits a straight guy, he goes out the back to Cleary, blah, 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 or he goes out the back to Blaze Talangi. We know what's going on. We, like, as punters even, like, you can see it happening. You just got to try and stop it.
Yeah.
And they will not stop doing it. They will just get you, and then they'll get your 4-man sliding out, right? And they'll hit those holes where you got, like, and then you got Galvin coming in on a lead runner, boom, 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 out the back. Try. Right?
So good.
It's clinical. What they did to us was clinical. We'll get to that game after you get your young buck out of the way. But
yep. All right. I'm going to crack my. There we go. I'm going to crack my can to Nave's right edge winger, Paul Alamotti. Let me have a sip. All right. So let me go through the stats first. 21 carries for 242 meters.
Damn.
5 line breaks, 9 tackle breaks, 1 try assist, and 3 tries.
Damn.
And I thought the fashion in which he finished the first try is important,
Beautiful.
Mace.
Yeah, it was.
He comes off the right foot and he went straight through the chest of Connor Tracy. It sent a statement. I know Bizza scored the first try and it was a nice silky play. That try, I think, deflated the crowd. It deflated the Bulldogs.
Deflated me.
Because Alamotti, and I want to ask you a question at the back of this too. Alamotti is a player that had to force his way back in the team. He also come from the Bulldog system, so that would have been hard to see for those 50,000 Bulldogs fans that were sitting there watching him at their home stadium, a core stadium.
Why did he leave? Why did he let him go? They would have been thinking that.
Where Penrith have basically turned it into their home stadium with how many prelims, finals, and grand finals that they play at a core stadium. It's basically the Panthers' home ground now. And one thing I noticed, your man, Nathan Cleary, your OG Bull, after he did his jiu-jitsu Zen bow to the crowd, to the Bulldogs crowd. I don't know.
He spoke about it on Fox after. I'll get to it. Finish your point.
Okay. He made a point. Yeah. He made a point after all the Panthers players come running over to him, high-fived him, couple up top. He broke away from the crowd and sprinted over to Paul Alamotti, who was getting himself off the ground, who took a lick for his captain after making a nice break and a beautiful pass on the inside for his 1 try assist as well. So here's my question. Why is he not a dog? As in, why is he not a Bulldog? And why hasn't he been in the team all year? Because he is an elite talent.
Elite talent, yes.
There is there, and I hate to bring it down, like finish with a negative after
No.
there are so many positives, but
he was a product of he come through the Suoli'i and all that. He was on par with those guys, right? He's touted. He's always been touted as a fucking young gun, next man up, right? Had a lot. I think it was the product of
Was he rushed in?
Not saying entitlement, but the pathway was quite smooth.
Yeah.
To get to first grade. Coincided with us being not that good. He got rushed into first grade. I don't think he was ready. He was only 18 years old, right? He was making
He's 21 now.
Yeah. He was making a lot of defensive mistakes. He's still only young. He was still only learning. And then I think he ended up getting dropped to reserve grade a couple of times. And, and this kid, you're talking about an 18-year-old kid. This is what happens. It's the maturation process of what happens with young kids.
Yep.
You come up, you come back, you come in, you try and get better. We finish the year off. Defensively, he just fell off, right? Like 23 was an awful year for everybody. And he copped the fair bit and would have hit his ego a fair bit because I don't think he has ever been dropped from a team, right? So we got put back to reserve grade.
That's a reality check.
It's a reality check, mate. It is, and he's just like, and then I think he was off contract. He wanted to stay with the Dogs.
He still had one more year left.
He still had one more year?
Yep.
Okay, so I think he went to re-up, right? They didn't want to re-up.
Yep.
And so he's thinking, well, what do I do here? Penrith come knocking, offering him nowhere near as much as the Bulldogs.
Yep.
But an opportunity like that, and he's gone, well, I think in his head he wanted to start from the bottom and earn everything.
Awesome.
And that is a credit, and that's a credit to him, knowing because he was a Bulldog junior, and everybody knew about Paul Alamotti. Everyone knew about Joseph Suoli'i. Suoli'i was on a fucking charge for the Roosters. Paul Alamotti's playing with the Dogs, playing first grade, but not playing well. So he sacrificed a fair bit of money and the club that he loves as a youngster to go to Penrith and to sort of start at the bottom and in reserve grade and earn everything. So I think when it's earned, not given, this is what you get.
Awesome. Love it.
And then he gets dropped again this year.
Yeah.
And I think it was a product of the whole the whole team going shit, right?
At the time?
At that time, they were trying to sort out Blaze Talangi. Casey McLean was sort of coming through.
I think Casey got dropped for a couple of games.
Casey got dropped. But there was a lot of them got dropped. And then they went on a bit of a run.
Yep.
And then they all got trapped in reserve grade, some of these really good players. And
so whoever wasn't a part of the run when they started winning.
Yeah. So he was a product of that. So he had to wait his time. And then you're like, he's playing too good. He's too good a player to play reserve grade. Milky's killing it. And then it was a big decision from Cleary. And this is where Cleary is a fucking, this is the part of the coaching as well. He knows what sort of player Paul Alamotti is. The last two games been one of their best players.
Yeah.
And he was outstanding last year, Paul Alamotti. In the grand final,
awesome.
He was nearly a Clive Churchill medalist.
He's top 3 or 4.
Yeah. So it's a credit to Paul Alamotti, and hopefully he can just stay and just his trajectory is like that. He's still only a young kid. He's still only learning a lot of football. He can play wing. He can play centre. I'm not sure what he prefers, but fuck, he's a gun at both.
21 years old, 52 games into his career. The bell bun. Nathan Cleary bell bun.
So he said he's been reading up into samurai, like theology and whatnot. So it was just an ode to that.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. He's an interesting cat.
He is. It's good.
All right, here we go. Panthers 46 defeat the Bulldogs 26. Boys, after 30 minutes of this game, they become the favourites for me to win the comp. It was an impressive start to the game. It was a clinic. We talked about Nathan. We talked about Paul Alamotti. We talked about Ivan and his legacy already. I don't think they're the favourites with the tab in the futures, Lukey. What are they?
I'm trying to find the futures.
I would say it is.
How do you find that on the...
I'll get it up here, straight up to the tab. Yeah, you go to competitions and that'll come up.
NRL futures, got it.
Got it?
Yep. So currently Melbourne at $2.90.
Ooh, I was going to say, let me guess.
Fuck, really?
$2.90 Melbourne?
Yep.
So second favourites would be Panthers.
Yep.
$3.30.
$3.10.
$3.10.
Brizzy, then Cronulla.
Brizzy, yeah, I'm trying to get the prices. So Brizzy 4s.
$3.75.
$3.75 and Cronulla $5.50.
$7.50.
$7.50?
Yeah, all right, that's all right.
It's not too bad for the Sharks fans. We'll get to them in a little bit. Sharks fans have been reaching out to us over the weekend, haven't they, Mace?
Hate me. Fuck off.
Yeah, he's short ball
I'm
jump.
getting fucking hammered.
You know what happened like last week when they all started watching the show, and to be fair, this is why I sort of like had my little rant last week because you called them boring, right, against the Sydney Roosters. So then they
Still are boring.
I reckon there were a number of fans that just jumped on for that episode that might not necessarily be like long-term Sharks fans.
Yeah, well, we're outside of that rugby league lull period now. We're back in the full momentum.
So
of
you find some sort of bandwagon fans, or actually that's the wrong description for them. More so fans of clubs that are getting re-engaged with podcasts once they see that their team's thereabouts and seeing where they're at.
Because everyone's watching, everyone
Anyway,
wants to
so you have a strong straight statement calling them boring.
Don't care.
Which I guess I maybe would have said 3 or 4 weeks ago and talked about the not wanting to see.
I was just like reiterating what you were saying. I was like, yeah, they're boring. And then they bored the fuck out of me against the Roosters. I'm like, yeah, they are.
Anyway,
let's go. Let's go the Dogs.
We'll get to let's keep going on the Panthers because that's the way we always do it. How about this? So we mentioned the performance of Alamotti. Toto and Alamotti combined for 5 tries, 2 try assists, 500 metres, 20 tackle breaks, and Bizza come up with 2 clutch defensive plays again.
And we keep and we've always given him his flowers for being the best defensive winger.
Yeah.
See how he didn't move. See, the rules are right. You don't move until the ball moves out of your hands, right? So a lot of plays would have stayed on you, right, and then you score in the corner. He's there. You part leaves your hand, bang, straight away. You're done. So that's how you defend wingers. All right. A lot of wingers just get stuck in no man's land or they fall for the dummy or anything like that. Their back 5 was outstanding. They played a clinical game. They were easily the best fucking team on the ground. No worries. I mean, I know we ended up scoring 26 points at the end, but that's just like that was dead time.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I didn't really care about anything like that. It was
Penrith were clearly
it was
watching.
fucking game over. You're just trying not to get injured. Let's get to the prelim and fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Just it was very, very clinical from Penrith. I can't put it any better. Like Leota set the platform. Lindsay Smith set the platform. Yowie played like tough. Sorensen played tough. Liam Martin played tough. You know, their back 5 just getting out of yardage. And it was a really physical game at the start. And they just ran away with it. You know, it's devastating when you just, you know, when you run the ball and like, you know, we just didn't hit and stick. Offloads killed us, right? If you're coming in, you've got to hit with your shoulders. Hit through their chest. You can't just come in there's like bang, bang.
They were hitting with their shoulders, just not sticking.
Yeah, you've got to hold the ball, mate.
Yeah.
I do not give a shit if you give him 2 or 3 meters. You hold the ball, especially if you're third man in or whatever. If it's simultaneously hitting, you cannot let that ball go bang. And then they're all just sitting behind Penrith going, get it, bang. Boom, 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 boom. Try.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't do that against Penrith, mate. They're too good and they've got too many strike weapons around. They'll have that little Mitch Kenny just floating around and then fucking Clear will be on this side, Blaze Talangi will be on that side, and fucking, you know, like Yowie will be either one passing it or Leota or Lindsay, and then they just push and you're already jammed in.
Yeah, they don't do anything by mistake. And when you like just say when you look at it and you start explaining it like that, because the Bulldogs are undersized, what they try to do to counter that is they try to get really good line speed and they players shoot out of line rather than a Jamin Salmon or a Max King or even a Kurt Mann. Because they lack the size of other packs, what they try to do is they try to intimidate, get up and initiate the contact.
I agree, but that works totally against you sometimes when you're playing against a big pack.
So here's my point. With Penrith, they were aware of that and they were prepared for it. So what they did was they just absorbed the contact, sometimes took a bit of a lick, and then all the other Penrith players were ready for an offload. Because once you do that and shoot out of the line, you open up spaces in and around that defender that shoots out of line.
And there's 2 or 3 coming in all the time,
Yeah.
right? So, like, I think Reid Marnie was trying to do it. You think Kurt Mann was trying to do it. You're trying to put a shot on against a bigger bloke, right? Where sometimes take a leaf out of Cameron Smith's book.
Yeah, absorb it.
Take them, let him give a couple of meters in the middle, especially in the middle of the field. That's nothing worse than an offload in the middle of the field. Don't try and shoot. You cannot shoot and then get barged off. Like, mate, you try and do that to me or anyone who's got an offload in them. Fucking thank you, mate.
When you
are not going to tackle me or you're not going to tackle Yowie. Like, he's long, he's strong, he's going to get that out there. Leota's going to get that. Lindsay Smith's going to get that out there, right? Sorensen, they're all big boys, right? And then the guys that come off the bench are big boys. You can't try and put a shot on. offload. They're all jammed in, about 4 or 5, and then everyone's got to come in, and there's always got to be space. And we fucking did that 2 or 3 times, and they scored. So you just got to be smart. You can't come in. You've got to be very, very methodical. When you do come in, you either come in and you wrap the ball up or you go straight through his chest.
You never really see Penrith or Melbourne shooting out the line trying to hit someone one-on-one, do you?
No.
They work as a team.
They work and they simultaneously hit you. So they go boom, boom. Someone hits the ball. Someone hits here. You change levels. Here, someone gets a leg. The other one cleans legs up.
Yep.
That's how it works. Clockwork. You do that non-stop, right? Sometimes you're going to get one-on-ones. You make your one-on-ones. But like it's just... And we're trained like that.
Yeah.
We are trained like that. And that's why I'm so disappointed in like what we did wrong in defence. Like Ciro would have been just doing his fucking head in. It's all, we worked for this for 2 years.
Yeah, when you're
3 years.
You've been a part. I'm sure you've been a part of. Like you were dominant for so long in some good teams, but there are also teams that you play in where you're all right. You might be physically and maybe even tactically outclassed in the game, where you start going, all right, you're going with the game plan. Game plan goes out the fucking window once you're down by fucking 6.
You can't out Penrith. I know that.
So you start going, fuck, what can we? This isn't working. What can I do now? And you start going outside.
Start playing football.
Yeah,
you got to start playing football. It's just like when you can't out Melbourne back in the day, can you? But you can fucking go play really aggressive through the middle, get offloads, change their structure in defence, make them come up, make them go back, offload, have a shot at them, and then have another shot at them. You know, like you can't just be like, you can't do what we did when we played 8-6. We played against a Penrith that was shit. They were nowhere near. They were nowhere near. That gave them confidence to go, hey,
100%.
because that was the Dogs at their top.
Yep.
Dogs were at the top of their game right there.
Yep.
We just beat the Dogs. We just beat them. 8-6. We went toe-to-toe with the team that's supposed to be the new Penrith, right? That gave them so much faith.
It would have been awesome for the young players.
Yeah. And then they did that to the Warriors and they did to the Bulldogs, and that's when they started building. And this is what you fucking get. This is what you get. This is the fucking full assault on every team now. So I feel sorry for whoever's going to play them.
I thought Nat was the class, which we've talked about already. Yowie is just a pleasure to watch. Like the way he moves around, the way he defends, the way he controls the game. It would be the relationship between Nathan and Isaiah Yeo.
Beautiful.
Is just a If you love it's almost like if you love your rugby league, if you love footy IQ, if you love detail, then I suggest if you haven't already, get to a game and try get really good seats and watch Isaiah Yeo and Nathan Cleary put on a show and direct the team around. And their big boy in the middle, you mentioned him before.
Leota.
Moses Leota set the tone physically.
Fucking big time.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, our middles, like you got tested and last week you got tested as well. I thought we played all right against Melbourne. Week before that you got tested. You know, they're questioning your middles. You got tested all last year. I thought, we were good for like 10 or 15. But like it's an 80-minute game. Leota don't stop. Their bench don't stop. Their middles don't stop. Isaiah Papali'i comes on. Henry comes on. Kenny keeps hitting. Fucking Lindsay Smith don't stop.
Lindsay
fucking
can just play 60 or 80.
Isaiah Yeo don't stop. I mean, it's just like it's relentless. And when they're like this, they're very hard to beat.
Are they your favourites?
Yeah.
Now?
Yep. What I saw yesterday, I was just like, God damn, no, who's beating them?
Would they still be your favourites if Paddy Carrigan was playing for Brisbane?
No. Oh yeah.
Still be your favourites?
I think Penrith are shit scared of. I think Brisbane. I think Brisbane are shit scared of Penrith because of what happened 2 years ago.
There would be scars.
There's a lot of scars.
There would be scars. Yeah. I don't know about being scared. There would be scars.
Not scared. No one's scared of anyone.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, when Cleary's putting bombs up and they're 20 from 20 in the first half, right? Yeah. They want to make you do that. Can you do that, Brisbane?
Yeah.
Can you fucking stay on point for 20 for a whole half, for 60 minutes, for the whole 80 minutes like you couldn't last time?
Yeah.
In a big fucking game? Brisbane will be sitting there going, oh yeah, we've got to right our wrongs for this shit. We've got to get rid of them.
I'll give you a scenario. Because I think Brisbane can. I reckon if they play this game, I think Brisbane can probably win 4 times out of 10. Penrith wins 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
I'll throw a scenario at you though. It's like if the game was at 65 minutes and it's a draw, it's 18-all. The odds for a live bet would probably be a coin flip for most of the time, right? But I reckon if it gets to that part of the game, I think not only the Broncos have to win, they have to win comfortably and have to get to an early lead. I think if it's close, if they're up by 4 or 6 or they're down by 4 or 6, Penrith become $1.10 favourites because they like the pressure of the grand final, the scars, all the success that the Penrith have had. Like it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be convincing.
Now they've round 12 coming last. Look what happens now. They're in a prelim, and everyone's just like, "Fuck," you know what I mean? Like they can win 5 in a row. You can't tell me they can't beat everybody who's available right now, and you can't tell me they're going through this week going, "It's Brisbane, yeah, cool. No Carrigan, take care of Payne Haas-Leota, right? Cleary, do your thing." Yowie, do your thing. Liam Martin, do your thing. Sorensen, Lindsay Smith, Alamotti, Bizza. Fuck, mate. Dylan Edwards, don't drop. Fuck, catch everything on the full. No 40-20s.
I got 2 names for you. Are we expecting Casey McLean and Liam Martin both to play?
Yeah. 100%.
So Casey come off at the 60-minute mark. Hobbling, but not crazy hobbling. I don't know how bad it was. Maybe it was precautionary. Looked like ankle. I could be wrong. Looked like ankle. Pardon? Cork. Oh, yeah. See, there you go. So he'll be sweet. So they had a big lead. They had Luke Garner on the bench, so they decided to go with Luke Garner. So I'd imagine
you don't want to risk that.
You know why he's important?
Yeah, because he got to take care of Katoni.
Katoni Staggs
he's got to take, and he's got that ability. But he's got that ability to do that because like that one game against Critter made him fucking Superman.
Put him on the map.
Did you see how they clipped it up, Penrith?
Yeah,
that video.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn, like he's not scared of anyone now.
I think Liam Martin's a genuine 50-50.
Yeah, I think if it's an AC joint, it's a rib he's playing, he'd have to break his shoulder not to play.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a fucking animal.
I can't wait for team list on tomorrow.
They don't give a fuck, mate.
For this.
They'll
both sides.
Yeah, they'll name. Yeah, exactly.
Both sides. Broncos. Yeah. Like what lineup are we going to get?
Yeah, exactly. What do you do? Exactly. This is going to be scary. Like, does Reynolds and Ezra Mann come back?
We'll see.
What do you do?
All right, Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Chaotic season, mate. What a roller coaster. So good to start with. I reckon there would be relief. I reckon there would be some relief from some people within that organisation. No one's going to say that, come out and say that out loud. But fuck. Like, that's the best way to put it is it's fucking finally over. Because you weren't going to win the comp. Nah. You were never going to win the comp once you got to finals with everything that had happened and the way things have played out, especially when you're emotional, physical, clutch leader and Stephen Crichton was unavailable going into this game. But I thought if there was one positive, there was a glimpse of what the Galvin and Preston combination can look like. Now, you've got to factor in for sure that Penrith were parking the bus and looking ahead to next week. But it started well with a nice play from Lockie to Jacob Preston.
And back inside. Yeah,
and then they got away from it. They got back to it in the second half. So it's good film and tape to show Lachlan in the off-season and for Cam Serrato and the team there to work on it. But it needs to happen more often. When he's under the pump, he goes too much east-west. He needs to go more north-south, and he's capable of doing it.
Let me just think about the whole year in a whole, right? In entire. I go, well, we had a good year last year. Everyone's saying we need a 7 to win the comp. Sexton can't get the job done. So what do? We go out and get Galvin. We could have Galvin could have handled that a bit different. Bulldog could have handled that a bit different. You could have said, just stick the year out in the Tigers. You can just, have the year then come next year, right? No,
quickly, I was thinking about that. That would have been tough for him.
I'm just saying this is what could have happened, right? No,
different scenarios.
So just different scenarios.
Fair enough.
So this is what I'm saying about everyone keeps going, it's a bad decision, all this kind of shit.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to play devil's advocate or a different perspective on people.
You're just thinking it out now.
I'm thinking it out now. And I was thinking about it the other day and I'm just like, okay, Galvin comes over. Sexton's had 2 or 3 pre-seasons with us. So has Marnie. So you really love these guys. So you have an affiliation. You have this, you've blood, sweat and tears with these 2 guys, 2 or 3 years together. You build a mateship, brotherhood, all that kind of stuff. Young 19-year-old kid comes over. You know that one person's gone. Sexton, your boy, he's leaving, right? So you can't tell me that has not caused any, what's that word? It's animosity. Disruption between, you can say whatever you want. You can say what you want in the media and say, no, it's not really harming us. It's not doing anything. subconsciously, and whatever's been
100%.
said away from cameras. And when you're in the car with people and you're hanging out with each other and you're by yourself and you're like, fuck this dude, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know. I've been in positions like this when we were bought a kid, not in that actual position, but like fucking when we bought Willie Tonga and Nigel Vungana, they got rid of Nigel Vungana.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to Tong for a fucking year. Right? Because
Yeah.
I was
He
fucking.
told me that.
Yeah,
He said
I didn't
that.
say anything
That's
because
legit.
I'm like, why the fuck is Nigel gone? He's the
our-
best 3 times fucking Dalium Centre of the Year. We buy with this guy who's come from reserve grade. But obviously fucking Tong worked out and he's fucking one of the greatest centres. But
In the moment.
It's natural to feel that way.
It's a natural way to feel, right?
Yeah.
So Sexton's fucking going, okay, I'm going to be in reserve grade now. What am I going to do? And then the players start going, they love Sexton. He's a very beloved player in that team,
Yeah.
right? Reed Marnie's a beloved player in that team. He starts getting, put in reserve grade, all this sort of shit, not wanted, blah, blah, blah. And then you get just sort of started unraveling. And I'm like, okay, well, then you got to bring that back in. And he did. We salvaged something, right?
Yep.
We salvaged something. We got to where we probably thought we would have got to, which is like second semi-final. We would have loved to get to a prelim. Didn't work out that way because of that Melbourne game would have been fucking. We had to win that Melbourne game. But it didn't happen. But what I saw fucking yesterday was not the team that we've been building for 2 years. It was fucking embarrassing watching that team. And I was sitting up in the top, just say, with some, very prevalent Bulldogs people, chairmans and all that kind of stuff. And, mate, it was just disappointing. And I just see it on Ciro's face and I just fucking felt sorry for Ciro. And it's hard to feel sorry for the players because you're in control. You're out there, you got that fucking blue and white jersey on and you're out there, you're in control of 80 minutes. I don't give a fuck if you get beat by Penrith out there. Put a better effort in than that, right? I said it all week. I said, I don't give a fuck if we lose. But put everything out there. Leave it at Accor. Leave it on Accor Stadium. Walk off the field. We'll fucking clap you off. Right? Done. But like what I saw, there's some people there that won't be wearing that fucking Bulldogs jersey again. And they had their last chance to fucking prove themselves that they love the club and say all the right things in the fucking media. And then you go out there and you perform like that. That's why you're not at the club fucking next year.
As passionate and frustrated as you are now, and I can fully appreciate it because, like I said, you feel for the blue and white more than I could ever feel for any other team that I've been a part of. There are some nice pieces there still, mate.
Still great pieces. I got all the faith in the world next year.
Is Leo Thompson? I think he's
our man.
Because you're really lacking physically through the middle. To my point before,
Yeah.
But I think Leo Thompson's going to need some more help too.
Leo's going to need some help. We're going to have and that's up to Gus and everybody, or everyone else like that. But there's no way the fans. I felt sorry for the fans. The fans are there, 65,000. They were sitting there just waiting, and I know what their fans are like.
Credit to them, they hung around.
And they hung around, but they just wanted a team to cheer for, and they got a team to cheer for the last 2 years, right? And then they put that effort in, and that all they want those fans is effort. And just to see them fight and fight and fight. I know we scored a couple of tries late in the game, but it was fucking game over. When the game was on the line, when you had to really show up, we were fucked.
Again, like the passion of your fan base, and like I said, you really you're pumped up here with it. Interviewing the players after the game, and there's only one player that I interviewed from the Dogs. He was devastated. I think he's got to keep staying fit and start training because I think he's a chance to make the Ashes team at the end of the year. Jacob Preston was awesome.
Love him.
He's a 10-year Bulldog for you, so you got one there, Mace.
Yeah.
I reckon there was about 10 or 15,000 fans that stayed like all the way to full time and clapped the team. Like there's you've reignited something for sure.
Yeah.
All three of the best crowds that I got this year calling games were all Bulldogs games. They were Bulldogs versus Eels, Bulldogs versus Rabbitohs, and
Eagles.
Bulldogs against the Panthers.
We've got something special then. We're growing something special. We get Leo Thompson there to stiffen up the middle. Our full pack's still there. Our whole back line's still there. We've got some really good young juniors coming through the pathways. I was just really disappointed in that effort yesterday. Like, you got everything. Like, I mean, I know Penrith's a good team, but they're not a 40-point side better than us. Just leave it out there. Like, they just and that's where when I looked at the end of the fucking game. Remember we saw that game. It was 8-6.
You would have clapped them off. You would have gave them a tunnel for
8-6. They were on there. They were on the ground.
They were awesome.
No, but like on the ground, fucked.
Yeah.
Because you left it all on that stadium. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And that's where you put everything in and you just got to max it out. I've been in positions like that where you just go, fuck, like, hey, this team might be better, but we've got to fucking really play at a level where we haven't taken ourselves before. And you've got to be able to take yourself to another level. If you want to win a fucking comp in this day and age, and in any level, you want to play Origin, you want to play for Australia, you can't just be a fucking normal club player to win shit, right? You've got to be able to go to another fucking level. Like everyone goes, oh, it's a new competition. It is a new fucking competition. You think Penrith don't know how to get to another level? They're going to go up another fucking couple of levels when they go up this week.
Yep.
You can see the level that they go up. They don't fucking drop the ball. They don't do anything. They're methodical. They're fucking aggressive. They do everything right. And we come out and go, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we drop balls, we don't kick right, we don't fucking put it in. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? We're not coached like that. Ciro handled himself. It's the first time I watched a fucking depressor.
Yeah. Mason,
Fuck.
Mason's drop. So
I watched it too.
yeah.
And I'm just seeing like, and
So
Ciro's just trying to be as positive as fuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
As positive as hell. And because he knows how much effort he's put into that side, and he knows that they didn't put their best effort in. We were only missing one player. Critter. We weren't missing fucking Jerome Hughes. We weren't missing Pappenhausen. We weren't missing Nas. You know what I mean? We weren't missing like 3 or 4 massive, big superstar players. We were missing a right side centre. We weren't missing a fucking Dally M halfback. Like Critter's leadership and everything like that. Yeah, fucking oath. Awesome. Love having him out in the field. It's one player. We acted like we had fucking 10 players out. It's enough.
That's enough. I got some points here. I think you've you know the Bulldogs better than me. I think you summed it up.
I love that fucking club and I love those players. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I just expected a little bit more.
That's perfect. Bulldogs fans, let us know how you think. If you agree with Mace, I'm sure you will. If you have any other little tweaks that you'd like to see the Bulldogs, let us know in the comments as well. The glasses are off because it's time to we'll let Mace calm down. We're going to go to money, talking with our partners, Athlete, talking about a really good matchup coming up against his good mate, Nico Hines, and the Cronulla Sharks in the preliminary at Melbourne this week. Welcome back to another special episode brought to you by Athlete. Remember, you can win a recovery and performance pack just like our winners from last week in Rachel M, Taylor P, and Peter J for the final time this year. After this episode, all you have to do is let us know in 50 words or less the performance of the week by a player or team. And unfortunately, it won't be from me mate here who's on the other side of this because they didn't have to play this week. They're too fucking good. They got the job done and they sat back with the Brisbane Broncos and watched the footy unfold over the weekend. Money, always good to see you, brother.
Thanks for having me again, Scott. Yeah, it was nice to have the week off. It was a couple of brutal games the last couple of days, so hopefully none of them pulled up well, and yeah, we have a couple of injuries or a couple of blokes niggling, and hopefully we can get the win on Friday night.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I want to talk about momentum versus week off and see how pros and cons to that. But before we get to that, the money mows out. So the Melbourne Storm, facial hair mow equals tick for the Melbourne Storm. And when you get rid of it for Origin, that equals tick. So the mow's looking sharp. It's looking detailed. It's ready to go for this Friday night against the Cronulla Sharks, eh?
Yeah, well, I thought, you know what, bring back the Omen. A couple of times I thought, you know what, it was just all about conspiracy and it was never true, but stats don't lie, Scabby boy, and hopefully the mustache can get me over the line on Friday.
Have you trimmed the sideburns as well? Have you got a bit of a sort of mullet or something?
Yeah, I got a little mully, I think.
Yeah,
I
nice.
don't know. I don't even know what you call it. More like a skillet.
It's like a little. Actually, I'm shorter length, but I'm sort of trying to copy you in a way as well. Maybe I've got to like cut this out, bang,
I
and
reckon
get
you
it done.
get a little fade on the sides, mate. You'll be laughing. Little.
Hey, let's just get straight into it. Like I said, with the momentum, when you're looking at the two teams on the weekend, they're forced to have to do it the harder way with momentum in the Penrith Panthers and the Cronulla Sharks. I've just got home from calling the Panthers game, so I'll talk about them in a bit. But I want to talk about the Sharkies. They're on their way down to match up with you guys on Friday. And Money, they're hitting their strides at the right time. Talk to us over the years about have there, like, I think the obvious choice would be to get the week off right and get refreshed. But with the way that the Sharks are looking, it looks like momentum is sort of suiting them because they've been able to keep the momentum whilst also staying healthy, relatively healthy.
Oh, mate, the Sharks have been playing some really good footy. I think probably the last 3 or 4 weeks they've probably been the most consistent side. Their halves are linking up really well, connecting well. They're probably in sync. Just see the Trent Dool obviously flick past to Nico Hines for that try against the Raiders. Like some of those things come off. I remember in 2017, Mitchell Moses had a similar thing with Will Smith. At the Eels. So yeah, when you're playing with confidence and everything just turns a goal for you. And I think with the Sharks, everyone's wrote them off and they've kind of fed off that with the critics, and I think they're just using that as motivation at the moment. It's paying dividends for them, and yeah, they're going to come down here and have a lot of confidence with the way they're playing and try and knock us off.
You know Nico well. He's a great
Mm.
mate of yours. He spent some time down in Melbourne. He came out and got on the front foot through in the media last week and just talked about no one sort of giving him a chance. Ronaldo was very vocal on a podcast the week before that. It feels like compared to the last couple of years, they're very confident, but I feel like they're so much more sure of themselves this year compared to years past, which is you guys have been there and done and dealt with so many different teams and so many different styles of teams over the years because of how many big games you've played. But yeah, they do present a really tough challenge, don't they?
Yeah, they've got struck power all over the field scope. Like you look at their forward pack, they probably a lot of years before they probably lacked someone like Adam Fanil Blake, and they've
Yep.
ended up signing someone like that, and they've ended up probably finalising their side. And you look at like the Cora can't even get on the team at the moment. He's come off the bench, so just shows what kind of class they've got around them. Billy Burns is playing outstanding, and then you've got obviously Teague Wilton as well. So they've got some good started or blokes that no one really thought or gave them a chance, and they're coming through and absolutely blitzing it. They've got a great back line now. Ronaldo and Katoa run the ball really well their backfield, and you can tell they use their backs a lot to get them out of trouble. And a bit similar to the Penrith, their back five get them out of so much trouble, and this gives their forward back so much energy to be able to defend and be able to obviously get up in the face of the other opposition and make them put pressure on them and make them make errors. So I think that's their game plan at the moment. And I think they've found their DNA the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm sure they'll come down here in Melbourne and try and do something similar.
You mentioned Britton Nicola. You mentioned Billy Burns. He's been putting together some really good footy for a long time, but consistently and on this run that the Sharks are in. Um, Do you anticipate a change in any way with Britain? Will you be doing just as much video on Britain this week as you are Billy Burns, just in case a late change might happen? Or do you think Billy Burns is like Fitzy's just going to stick with a winning team and a winning formula? What do you expect on that right edge?
I think I think personally they won't change what's working. I
Mm.
think they will keep this team as is, if unless there's had concussions or someone's had niggles or they can't obviously get up for the game. But I think they will stick to that and bring Nikora or Brendan Nikora, sorry, off the bench and bring that impact. Like you see him when he starts the games, he's bringing so much aggression. And you think about bringing him on, taking the sting out of the game. He's just going to bring more impact and just some of those lines he runs and those drop offs. It's very straight and direct, and they're hard to defend. With someone that kind of fast, and he's pretty aggressive, and he's not a big body, but he's probably someone that I probably do a lot of homework on, is because it's the way he runs his lines, and he's always genuine on his lines, and he always holds up blokes that he needs to hold up. And when you have someone like that outside you, it's very hard to defend at times.
All right, let's flip to the other side. The Broncos Raiders game. I was lucky enough to call that last week. It was
Oh wow.
unbelievable, that game. I was even speaking to Nathan about it after his game today in beating the Bulldogs, and it was the game of the year. It was unbelievable. That presents a different challenge. I know you've got to get through Cronulla, and all the focus will be Cronulla, but you can't help but, I guess, as a competitor, be so impressed with what Penrith are doing, mate. Like, I'm about to read out some
Yeah.
stats with you in the finals, but, mate, they're one game away from another grand final. They've got a huge task they've got to get through a Broncos team. I think that's a genuine coin flip, that game. But because of how successful you've been at Melbourne and in the system, are you just blown away with what this Penrith team has been able to do coming from last place, I think round 11. They were in last place, money.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I guess you never write off a champion team or a champion player, and yeah, obviously, so many critics or so many people have had their line through Penrith, and but in the back of my head, it's like rugby league. It's a simple game. If you can just fix little things in your game and do the little things well, it tends to come back for you. And they just went back to their DNA of footy. They didn't try to change too much of their game plan, and they just suffocate you. And yeah, like you said, almost their fifth grand final in 5 years. It's pretty crazy. Oh, sorry, 6 years, wouldn't it? Because 2020,
Yeah,
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 six
yeah.
years.
Because you got them the first year, but then they go on the
Yeah,
streak.
yeah, and they go on the streak. So yeah, look, it's I don't really, as much as I love to win 2020, I'd much probably would rather the streak that they're on at the moment. It's pretty nice. But just thinking about just the players they've lost. You look back on who they've lost. If they kept those players, like you could honestly probably say they'd be in the final for the next 10 years. Like realistically,
It was,
like
it was
it'd be
mate.
ridiculous.
So
It'd
so
be sickening.
Crit, yeah. When I was chatting to Bizzer after the game, Critter comes up to him, right? So Critter's a huge part. Matty Burton's on the other side. Viliami Kickout was the captain because Critter's not there. I noticed that James Fisher Harris and Sania Taruva were in the crowd still. So there's a brotherhood, there's a camaraderie. You guys have got it down in Melbourne. I know that. I've watched you guys at your wedding just to see that the way that the club embraces and gets around the culture. You can tell that is definitely at Penrith Panthers. Speaking of streaks, here's just like a stat that I think just blew me away. And I've been saying this for a while now, but me and you haven't had a chat about it. So since your debut in 2014, where you only played the one game that year, you
Yeah.
have played in 11 just made up a new word, just for you. You've played in 11 preliminary finals in 12 years. The only year you didn't make it out of a proper season was the 2022 loss to the
Penrith.
Raiders. No, did you lose to the Raiders in 2022, the first week?
Yeah, so the first week, and then we had to go through the hard way, and then we lost to Penrith.
Yeah. So, do you understand or even appreciate how crazy that is, or do you like? I know you smoking now, and it's you're cheeky, but like I just was looking at the greatness of Penrith, and when you went through, and I was, first of all, like once you got to preliminary, you're out of my golf day as well, which I'm filthy about, even though I wanted you to go all the way. But like have you had a chance to reflect over the years and just realize like how special that is that you've played in so many big games and it just like every year money you go to the finals and every year you pretty much go to a preliminary final.
Yeah, it's crazy stat actually. Frank Panisi, the footy manager, mentioned that to me, or what would have been maybe 5 weeks ago. Just
Yeah.
talking about the stats of finals and that, and I looked back on it and I was like, oh, far out. Yeah, you're right. I've been in a fair bit, and and the thing I said to him was, I said I'm sick of making preliminary finals. I want to be in the grand final, and that
Mm.
was the thing I said to him. So. Yeah, I've been in 11 out of 12, but I've only won two grand finals, so it's not a great stat, but I've been in five grand finals, but hopefully I can make it a sixth one and make it a third ring, which would be very nice. But like you said, got to get through the Sharks. And yeah, I kind of look back on it thinking, yeah, those 12 years have been long and successful in a way, but I know Penrith have got a team that just keep somehow finding a way. And yeah, you got to give the respect and the credit they deserve because they
Crazy.
keep losing players and they keep producing great players or blokes that no one's ever heard of, and they're going to probably become representative players like Lindsay Smith come out of the ground like that. Obviously, Liam Henry. They've got so
Yeah.
many blokes that just work around. Mitch
Isaiah
Kenny's
Papali'i was really good tonight.
yeah, like you got Mitch Kenny there. I don't know if he played on tonight. I wouldn't watch
He
the
did.
game, but
He did play tonight. Like he was awesome. He was. You could
yeah.
tell. And they got him a spell with about 20 minutes to go, which was. I actually had a chat to him after the game as well. And just he was maybe 2 or 3 days out before they pulled the trigger and he played. I reckon he's a really underrated part of what they
Yeah,
do too, mate.
mate, he's such a big part to their team, and you obviously speak about people that like defensively are spots, and he's definitely not a spot. Like he's just
Yeah,
full
he's
on
the
like
opposite.
he's opposite, So
Yeah.
yeah, they've got a great hooker there, and yeah, I guess sometimes you can have great hookers that can attack really well but can't defend, but he's got the whole kit bag, and like I said, those type of guys that are in the team just know their role, and they just somehow find a way to get better and better.
we're starting to lose your eyes, mate, and I guess we're starting to lose it because I want to thank you, mate. This is the Sunday night after the Bulldogs and Panthers have played. We've had to try to figure out the weekend in preparation for another preliminary final. All the best, brother. I love you.
Love you too, mate.
I want you to get the job done, and I want you to get another grand final.
That'd be nice, mate. If we do, Byron again.
Let's go, baby.
No.
See you, money.
See you, mate. Have a good one.
All right, let's get to that game, Mace. This one, we're going to start off with just my opinions too. Legends, I commented on here a few weeks ago about how I thought Fitzy was too loyal to the playing group, and you both agreed. Well, flick it forward or fast forward, and I think the selection of Billy Burns is exactly what was needed, and the energy of the group has lifted. To keep Nikita on the bench is huge from Fitz and just builds a team dynamic where your jersey isn't painted on. It belongs to whoever deserves it the most. P.S. How good is Talakai? I think he is playing better than ever. Agree with that. Sifri is on fire the last 3 weeks. In the modern game, he is a cheat code for swinging momentum. The Ito break, Nico try all began from a Talakai charge. Up, Cronulla. All right, let's get into it. Sharks 32 defeat the Raiders 12. Look, just my opinions. I love the takes that you have too, mate. So you can also be like us, have a really strong opinion on the way your team's going or a way a team's going, but also understand, all right, you see a shift of momentum. Doesn't mean you can't change your opinion and love what you're seeing out of certain players, the improvement, and that's what I got with the Sharks right now, mate.
Yeah.
Shout out to the third-degree Burns of the Billy variety.
Jesus,
He is
right.
on fire. His mate in the middle, unheralded name to some, Jesse Calhoun, has been awesome. And the fact that both of those guys, and I'm factoring in both of them too, because I think Billy Burns has the ability to move into the middle. So the form of both Calhoun and Billy Burns forcing Fitzy to leave Britton Nikita on the bench.
Arguably one of the best back rows in the comp.
Top three back row. Top three back row.
What about the Dolph?
The Dolphs on
We're
fire.
gonna Fuck, mate.
The Dolphs. We'll go through.
Yeah,
Let's give the Sharkies their credit.
Yeah.
But let's start off with those two in particular because those are my sort of guys, mate. You know me. Like I love a good journeyman story,
Yeah, mate,
or I
they're
love a young
outstanding.
emerging. Or Calhoun's probably a little bit younger, but he's been in the system now for a couple of years.
They're big bodies, mate. They're built for the game.
They look the same sometimes.
Yeah,
I get confused
Yeah,
by their.
yeah, you're right, you're
they're
right.
both about 6'3", 100
Fucking
kilos.
decent builds, mate.
Credit to him. Billy Burns has been to a couple of different clubs
Has
now.
he?
Been in and out of first grade. Yeah,
I thought he was just Cronulla.
Nah, he's. I think he might have even started at Cronulla.
Okay.
Had a stint at Penrith. He was at the Dragons last year.
Okay, yeah,
Lukey,
yeah,
look
yeah,
up
yeah.
Billy Burns, and as we're
He's
talking,
at Penrith 1920, Dragons 21 to 23, and 24
Okay.
at Sharkies.
Well, he's
First year
arrived.
at the
He's
Sharkies.
arrived.
Yeah.
He's arrived.
He's-
I like what I saw from Cronulla.
yeah,
You know what you're going to get. It's just a matter of you trying to stop it. And the Raiders, we'll get to the Raiders in a bit, but like the Sharks were just methodical. They completed at a high rate. They kicked really well. They executed when they had to. Everyone's hitting holes. Fanul Blake's going forward. Dolph's doing his thing. People are sleeping on the Dolph. He's fucking running harder than
Dolph's
ever.
playing awesome.
Playing outstanding. A great compliment of Fanul Blake. Fanul Blake's just getting through just on those quick play balls. Bang after. Brayley outstanding. They're back five. Beautiful. Talakai coming off the bench. It's changing the game. Hamlin and Welly. It's just like, fuck, mate. I'm not sure what they can do, but
they can fuck around.
they can fuck around and just fucking nearly get to a grand final. And I don't know.
What was my prediction? They can fuck around and knock someone off who I think
You
can
said
win the
that.
comp.
You said that 6 weeks ago.
I didn't say they can fuck around and knock two out. So if they're able to go down to Melbourne,
Fuck around and get a prelim.
yeah, I said they could fuck around and get a prelim. Now they've got to the prelim. They did that last year. Can they take the
They got a
next
good
step?
record down there too.
They're not fearful of Melbourne.
They're not fearful of anyone. They
They're
don't
not-
give a shit. This Nas ain't playing, right? And if Jerome Hughes is playing, I'd rather him play, right? Than that Peasant played all right. Was it Peasant?
Peasant?
Yeah.
Yeah, Peasant played outstanding against us. So I don't think he should be pushing it. Jerome Hughes.
He's
one
a
more week, maybe.
He's again on reflection, and I said this on SEN yesterday because I got it from. I was doing crunch time on Saturday with Blake Austin and Adrian Prezenko, the journo. And he's talking
Prezenko. He used to be my ghostwriter.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for the Australian. Love
AP's
him.
good dude.
man.
Good dude.
man.
Anyway, and he brought this up, and I was like, you know what? You're right. So on reflection, that last game against the Bulldogs, both teams played their full teams. They both had a full deck of cards, but both teams, the Bulldogs and the Sharks, couldn't progress. Why did they both play full strength teams in the last round? Because the Bulldogs were on a slide and they needed to play well.
Yep.
Going into a big final against Melbourne, and Ciro was even willing to lose a player through suspension, risk, injury, all of that, because he needed momentum going into Melbourne. Fitzy was the same. They were starting to play a little bit better, but they had a period through the Origin period which was really disappointing. So Fitzy would have gone into that game going, you know what? Like, yeah, we had ambitions to make the top 4, but we need to keep playing strong here to keep the momentum going in. So really, on reflection, that game was like a lose-lose. Yeah. The only storyline that I had coming out of that game was, geez, Sharks were good in that game. Yeah, they withheld the Bulldogs and then they went bang, bang, few punches, scored some tries, and they did pretty comfortably. Yeah. But the big storyline out of that for me was the Dogs and how they lost and the fashion in which they lost. I was like, oh, the Dogs are gone. Yeah. I didn't give Cronulla enough credit for that game. Now on reflection, I am, because of what I've seen now following that. They go to they play at home, they beat the Roosters, a team that I thought was really dangerous. And I know I know Sharks fans are going to be like, oh, you don't give them enough credit because you're going to bring up stuff that's happened to the Raiders. You have to factor in last Sunday.
Of course.
It's not the main reason. It's not the main reason, but it's a factor. Cronulla fans, what I watched it, I was there live. Every single player was exhausted. I don't care if it was the Broncos or the Raiders, who you would have had to have played Sharks fans. I think you would have got both of them.
Yeah.
And that's why I tipped the Cronulla Sharks, because of the fashion in which that game finished. Now, I'm not taking any credit away from Cronulla, because you still got to go down there with a mindset. You've got to travel away and you've got to get the job done. And that's what Cronulla have done. And now that's what they face when they go down to Melbourne. So I can't wait. Like I'm
with you, mate. I'm with you.
Even though I've been critical of them.
Critical because like they just had an up and down year. They haven't been like great to watch. They've been, they slipped like during the Origin period. They were awful. They just looked like they didn't have the combination between Nico. They didn't know what Nico was doing, or Trindle and Kennedy. They'll talk about that, and their own people were bagging the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone was having a crack. We're just sitting there going, yeah, the Sharks ain't that fun to watch.
But my thing is they had a certain level of consistency over the last 3 years that I believe they weren't playing to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then also, this is the point, like second week of finals, third week of finals, this has been their stumbling block. Now they've ticked that box. They've got through. They can go down to Melbourne and prove everyone wrong.
And Nico played pretty good. Nico can be happy with his performance. He can, and I think he's a confidence player. He can go down there. They can go down there and beat a fucking Melbourne Storm team, because Nars is still out, right?
Correct. Nars isn't going to play again this year.
So he's not going to play.
Yeah.
No, shit, that sucks. Jerome Hughes, I don't think so. Pappenhausen, yeah, but Jerome Hughes is the main guy. And I just don't think Sharks are scared of anyone.
Yeah, no, for sure
they're not, because they got a bunch of rough riders down there. They don't give a fuck about anyone. They're very well coached, and they got that siege mentality. And they'll be like, Melbourne don't scare them.
I reckon over the last couple of years, there have been a number of games where Nico's starred, and the Cronulla Sharks go good. Trindle starred and the Cronulla Sharks go good, but at times it feels like they take turns. When they combine, when they play well together, they're very hard to beat.
They've got a good team.
Like, they're hard to beat when one of them plays good, but when they play and connect well like they have been the last couple of weeks and like they did down in Canberra.
People are sleeping on the back row that you mentioned. Like, I don't think people know how you haven't got enough footage on them because they run really good lines. And they come off off an inside ball, an out ball, outside in. Like, it's hard when you don't have enough and you don't know their cues, right?
Yeah.
So that's Bellamy. He's going to be all over that shit.
They'll
right?
be all over the detail.
And the amount of inside pressure that you're going to have to be putting on Nico and Trindle, which they will be, then you'll see what happens. Do you get an extra little bit wide from the A's and B's, right? And the markers. Harry Grant will be going crazy. You making him play a little bit earlier because you don't want him doing that because you don't want to get the ball out to Trindle when he's got space, right? Because he knows what he's doing. Little kicks.
He's silky.
Little kicks.
He's silky.
All over the top. You know, like their wingers going to have to be on point. Right, like I'm not sure who their wingers are going to be. I mean, like, probably Coates, and you know, like but they can.
Coates and Warbrick, they're both
up.
playing.
They're up and in, and they stay up, right, and they come in. So like Trindle's ball over the top.
It's a really enticing battle.
Yeah.
Because Ronaldo's been talking that shit too the last couple of weeks, and I remember I said this when he got in the face of Xavier Coates.
This is still that game.
There's a rivalry here. So the first week he gets at the end of the game when they beat him at Shark Park, he goes and gets in Xavier Coates' face. All right, I said just wait. Melbourne will remember that. They played about 5 weeks later. Every time Ronaldo was around the ball when they were scoring tries, mate, you had Pappy talking shit to Ronaldo, right? So these two teams do not like each other.
And I just think when Pappy gets the ball, he's going to get his head driven into the ground as well.
Oh, like across the board,
legally.
Mate. Yeah.
Right? Obviously, because he's come back from head knocks, so you better be right.
This guy can't wait.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you better be right. No, I love Fitzy. I love Daniel Holsworth. I love fucking Josh Hannay. I like their coaching staff, right? Just because I think they play boring, I'd love to see them in a grand final because I love the coaching staff. They're all good people, right? And I'd love to see Fitzy, you know, like getting there. I'd love to see Daniel Holsworth getting there. You know, and they've got a team there. They don't really give a shit how they get perceived of how they play.
Imagine if you look back on a season when you start comparing teams and what they were able to achieve. I don't think this grand final, whoever wins the grand final is not necessarily going to be a historic grand final winner. But what about
unless it's the Panthers?
Well, because in terms
5.
of their roster, right, compared to like the roster that Penrith have had before, in terms of like elite talent, I think it's a grand final that's up for grabs. But for the Sharkies, if they are able to go on a path where they beat star-studded Roosters team led by Tedesco and Sam Walker, they go down to Canberra in their own house and beat the team that only lost 4 games throughout the season, minor premiers, loaded with talent and aggression, and they get to go to Melbourne and then at least get an opportunity if they get through Melbourne. It's going to be really fun to watch. Will Kennedy, defensively, was everywhere. He's awesome. Now, it's been reported that he's been offered $300,000.
Fuck off.
$300,000.
That's disrespectful. It's 2025. Are you serious?
He still doesn't have a team for next year.
I was on that when I was 35. Sorry, like that's at the back end of your career when the cap was like $4 million.
He's a hard one to evaluate.
You do not you can't. Come on, man. Like he's worth at least 5 to 6.
Yeah,
easy.
Crazy.
Yeah,
mate.
That's just whispers, mate. Like
kidding.
It's a zero tackle article.
Yeah,
so
you can't, like, mate. He's at least like because you just say what's your other option? You think you're going to put fucking Nico at fullback?
They got the young kid.
Nico ain't quick enough.
No, it's not that. They don't have.
They just don't have the cap space.
They're locked into Nico
because of Nico, Adden, and Trindle.
It's the Ison kid. It's the Ison. They had a couple of options that have played there before, but I think it's just like it's a salary cap issue. Unfortunately,
doesn't the cap go up in like in 2 years?
Well, they've just. I reckon Blake Brayley would have got a huge contract just done. Adden's on huge money. Nico's on big money. They re-upped Trindle last year. Look at all their outside backs. They're all like 7 or 8 out of 10s in Ronaldo, Sione Katoa, Jesse Ramey, Kale Iro, Britton Nikita. Teague Wilton would be on good money. The Dolph wouldn't be on shit money. Hazelton just got re-upped. Anyway, Adam Fanor-Blake, he's the player leading into this season that a lot of people thought could take him to the next level. He's elevated everyone in that forward pack.
Yeah, it gives them confidence.
If you were a 6 out of 10 in terms of NRL standard player, you're a 7 out of 10 when you're with Adam.
Well, he just has a presence, right?
He's an alpha.
He is an alpha, and I think that's the reason why the Dolphins been playing really well.
Yep.
because he's with him, and Fanua Blake gets really quick play the balls, man.
In fairness to the Dolph, he's been really consistent for a good 3 years.
When he's fit.
When he's fit.
He was busted for a good part of a couple of years. He was awful.
I reckon he's missed about at least 5 games in the last 2 years, both years.
When he's fit, he runs hard, he hits hard, he leaves everything out in the field, right? Not the most talented player in the world, but he fucking gives out everything.
He's a great compliment for
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when Fanua Blake gets that ball and he's got that late footwork, who's next?
Shit carry.
Just jam it right behind him.
He takes the shit carry every time.
Yeah, but because Fanua Blake gets a pretty quick play the ball, he can jam it in behind. Then they can go off that. So Fanua Blake, he has elevated everybody else, and like even the back rowers, and then the guys. He barely comes off as well. Plays massive minutes. He knows so when he comes off, boom, someone else comes on. Hamlin Mueli, similar body type. You know what I mean? So
he's playing really good too,
he's
mate.
playing some really good football. He looks fit. Big Tommy Hazelton. Didn't expect that.
Yeah, so here's my thing on that, right? And I was critical of this because I thought you wrote in the group how good's fucking Tom Starling. I fucking love it. I love the aggression. I love the mentality. But the Sharks were on the other end of it about maybe 8 weeks ago when Jack Whiten sprinted out of the line and had a head clash with the Dolph. Remember when he knocked the Dolph out cold?
It was like that. Nothing.
What's the difference? Like both head contact, neither left the ground. Jack Whiten is a 6'3", 100-kilo animal, and no
6'7".
No disrespect. I'm telling you now, they factor in size.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Because fucking Tom Starling is a little fucking goal though.
Yeah.
And just because he's small in stature doesn't mean the little cunt can't hit. Excuse the language, but I love him. I love him. But he had to be penalised. Jack Whiten got 4 games suspension. Now, some of that's loading. Sent for 10 and a penalty. They just go play the ball. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Bullshit, Bullshit.
What's going on?
But that's like the outcome that you want.
Thank you for that. That's the outcome I want because Tom Starling was trying to come up with a play for his team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was a head clash, and I feel bad for Big Hazelton. He'll miss this week for sure because it's Cat 1. But I felt the same watching Jack Whiten. I felt for the Dolph. It was a head clash.
It's a rugby league tackle.
It's a rugby league play. Whatever way you do it, whether you're fucking 4-week suspension, 10 in the bin, penalty, they were the same sort of tackles.
Well, it's the recklessness that you're referencing.
I think what's the word for it? And Jimmy Smith was saying this yesterday.
You got to keep
a duty of care.
Duty of care for the player.
There was a duty of care that you have to have control. There was no duty of care from Tom Starling compared to there was Jack White.
Tom was willing to knock himself out.
He's a fucking
you know
dog.
what I mean? Like he was willing to go, okay, well, fucking someone's going down here.
Yeah.
And it ain't me. And because he knew he was short, he was going bang straight up on his chin.
Have you seen the scar? Do you know where that comes from there? Can you see this? Does it come through strong? That's little Critty Sandow.
Oh.
Right? So we're playing against South Sydney. I've got to go take we used to do, I forgot the name of it. I used to get a play where I'd dig in behind the ruck and then kick out. Villiamy kick out.
It'll kick out.
And then Chrissy Sandow, this is in the middle of the field. Chrissy Sandow, you remember he used to scream out of the line and put the big shoulder barge in? He comes screaming out of the line, try to shoulder barge me. So I seen him last minute. As I grabbed the ball, I turn around and I just drop it. And he headbutted me straight into straight there. Split me.
Got you, beauty.
Got me.
What's that, 12?
Yeah, 12 stitches. Yeah, 12 stitches. Anyway, it happens. Like, Chrissy was trying to come up with a play. He licked me. Apparently, like in the video,
He would have stood over you. Remember he got SKD at that game?
No, but so he ended up rocking up to Parramatta the next year. He was actually concussed. He concussed himself. Yeah. So even though I was fucking sore, I wasn't concussed or anything like that. I could just feel all the claret coming down. Anyway, but it's a rugby league play. It happens. Like, it's unfortunate that I got that, and it's unfortunate that it happened to Tom Hazelton. You got it?
No. I thought it was a Korobidi one.
You'll be able to find the picture if you go to my pictures.
Yeah, on Getty.
Yeah, if you just type in Justin.
Because there's nothing worse than being ahead. Like, just say when Kitty hit me in with his head, the back of his head, you're not going to beat that.
Yeah,
it's fucking straight out.
Yeah,
you go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, your head cannot, your facial fucking features cannot handle the back of a head or a fucking
Not the same, but there you go.
Oh, yeah, the Critty. That's when he rocked up.
You know what I'm saying? Like once if you get hit by someone's like top of their head or back of their head, you're going out, mate. Or you're getting split, or you're going to get a fractured eye
Yeah,
socket.
this one. The OG.
Yeah, there it is. Bushka.
Head splitter.
Loving it.
Look at that. All right, let's get to the Raiders, mate. Really feel sorry for Ethan Strange. Withdrawing from illness is a lose-lose if you lose, Mace.
What was the illness? Fuck, you'd want to be in hospital.
Spewing up blood. Spewing up blood the morning of.
His resting heart rate was 120, and the doctors strongly advised that he shouldn't play. Coughing up
Otherwise,
blood.
you could just like
Influenza A.
Jesus.
So, like I said, it's lose-lose if you lose. If you go out there and play, or if you don't play, there's always going to be criticism in and around it, like why can't you play? How sick were you? All that fucking stuff off the back of it. If you go out there and play, outside of Michael Jordan playing the flu game in NBA, it's like no one ever gives you fucking credit for it. No, like and you can't go.
You had a flu.
Just say you play the game, you win, and go, hey, by the way, guys, I was fucking really sick this morning. Like it's
no one cares.
No, like we lost, but hey guys, I was really sick. We didn't do shit. So that's a really tough position, and it sucks that player of his ability, the projection that he's on, it sucks that we're missing him. You right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the size.
Yeah, no, it was you.
But here's what it did do. It exposed their biggest flaw and the problem. Even though they were my team, the one hole that I had in them all year is around their plan A attack.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is when you watch teams, even if you watch Penrith, you watch the Bulldogs, there's some version of style that they do where you go, all right, you can see
That's their first option.
You can see their first option. When you watch Canberra, it is try to go through the front door, expose them with some ad-lib offloads, and they did most of the time, they try to punch you in the mouth and then they'll break you open with an ad-lib play where Ethan Strange or Hudson Young or KO Weeks would expose you.
Yes.
Without Strangey there, you knew you were on high alert anytime Hudson got the ball. KO Weeks...
He didn't know how to put himself into the game.
KO Weeks was really struggling to insert himself in the game off the back of it as well because Simi Sasangi was not going to get KO Weeks into the game.
Played outstanding, Simi Sasangi, but the difference is Strange. So when it become like pretty like a one-trick pony, right?
Yep.
They just kept hitting Huddy Young. Huddy Young. No one's out the back. Hit fucking KO Weeks.
Well, I think Huddy Young took it upon himself to
I know that, but like still, as a ball player, you don't have to hit him all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got to go out the back sometimes. Like it was on out the back sometimes. I'm not sure who that ball player was. Was it Fogarty or was it Simi Sasangi?
So here's the play that they come up with. They had some joy, and I agree they should have gone back this more. Used to Simi Sasangi out the back.
Yeah.
They went in the tunnel ball to Sebastian Chris, tipped on Savelia Tamale.
Like they just didn't pull the trigger.
They very rarely come to that edge and use shape though, mate. So even though I love the Canberra team and I'm disappointed that they're out because I enjoyed watching them.
Yeah.
I said I could poke holes in every team.
Yeah, you can.
And that was my one concern with him. And then when you lose Ethan Strange as well, it makes it even harder.
Yeah, way harder. And he's that guy who, like, he does a lot of work when it comes off those offloads, this, that, boom, boom, left foot. He'll take that, especially in the red zone. In the red zone, they were easy to defend. Easy to defend. And defensively, they were just fucking, like, Fogarty, mate. You know, like, he's been around for a minute. You do not have to come in on lead runners all the time. Like that, and then Timoko gets exposed. Like he come in like with who's Hoskins. Well, Hoskins he's got the lead runner, mate. Stay out. Don't come in. And it was just like boom, 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 hands. Like all the time. It was just so simple. You got to make them earn those things. Have faith in your foreman and don't fucking creep your shoulders in because that's the cues that you look for. Nico and what's the name? Trindle will just fucking pull your pants down. Like just stay square.
Do you reckon they got the yips? Like, do you reckon they just like completely lost?
There was some times where Fogarty come in for no reason at all. His spacings was so fucking bad. He just had to be about another meter that way. Like just say he was like, you're fucking Hoskins, I'm here with my shoulders in there. There's a lead runner there. This guy at the back. It's just man on man. Just fucking stay square.
Is there anything tactically you would have done? Because I've got an option that I was like sitting there watching and go, why don't they just try something? Is there anything tactically that you would have done?
Well, I would have just on the left side or the right side.
For the right side, defensively.
Defensively, no. You just have to. He knows what to do. They would have been training that all year because their right side was their weakness, and they're going to end up getting better and better and better.
Do you think they ever trained to just go, all right, fuck it, if anything happens similar to last week against the Broncos, we stop letting them come to us and we dictate terms.
Yeah.
So what you do is you sit fucking Fogarty just behind Hoskins in like a layer sort of where he sits like in a little pocket and just go Timokol and fucking Jed Stewart. You're no longer going to sit back and wait for
jam.
Just jam every time. And Hoskins and Fogarty have a mindset to go, all right, every time they dig into the line, those two are going to come shooting out the line. Yeah, it opens it up for a kick, which KO Weeks has got to be aware of, but also Fogarty has to be aware of. And I would have gone, you know what? Every single time they dig into a line and it's anywhere in and around the 3 or 4 man, just go. Yep. And we'll deal with the repercussions after it because the way we're defending right now is not working.
Even when they just say when they get to just say the right post, right, and they're going to go that way, like Hoskins needs to get a little bit wider. He needs to bring a guy like Tarpanay who can put inside pressure on a Trindle, on a Nico Hines or whatever it is, because they usually hit a front guy. Someone goes around the back, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Like they need a good 5-man who can put so much pressure. Then Hoskins can be a little bit wider. He's got the lead, and then Timoko's a little bit wider, and then use the sideline as a fucking defender. It's so easy to do. All the good defenders do it. Right? Have a look at Brian Toto, what he does. What that left side or whatever side he's on. You don't score down there. Not that basic tries when it's just like the wingers caught in no man's land. It's just a long ball. Yeah, fucking try. Go short, try. Like, come on, man. Like what Walsh did to him. They just showed the blueprint. Brisbane. And they've been doing that. They end up handling it all right during the mid part of the year because they were going really bad. And then this one, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was a perfect recipe to get dominated because, or at least have joy. And that's why we had Kawiro and Renato Militalo. We got lucky with the Kawiro try, to be fair. But a really dominant Sharks left edge who have been playing really good against the right edge that we were struggling for cohesion. This is a rare occasion. So, boys, I don't know if you're made aware of this or so Simi Sasangi was playing 6, right?
Yeah,
and people were confused that Ethan Sanders wasn't given the ability to play in the team. So what happened was when Sticky shortened it to 19, Ethan Sanders wasn't a part of the 18 and 19. So they had to promote. Who's to know what they would have done? But Sasangi moved to 6, and they were allowed to promote Ethan Sanders from outside of the 19 to move to 18th man to cover. So if something happened, they at least had some halves cover. But they weren't allowed to move Ethan Sanders all the way into the 17. I think that rule needs to change, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sucks.
It was like a few weeks ago we spoke about it for the Warriors game.
I was wondering why Sasangi played like 6. I was like 6. I know he's a good player, but I'm like, I didn't think he was just 6.
There are no guarantees that he would have gone with Sanders, but they weren't afforded that option.
That's bullshit. Change it.
Yeah. So it's a really unique situation where you're very rarely going to get a start. This is what I think I'm thinking about, like how you could take advantage of it. So if you wanted to do a late change on a superstar, right, and throw a team out of whack just before kickoff, if it's Isaiah Yeo and he's got a shoulder injury, you know when he missed the shoulder injury and he was sort of getting – if you did that late – sorry, I'm not going against Penrith Panthers or anything. This is just an example using a star player. And then you make a late shift, that would throw a team out that you're about to play, like the Dragons or whatever.
Question.
But if it's a star play, which is obvious that you do not want to lose, and then therefore it's just a backup,
and then Simi can stay on the bench.
Then Simi could have stayed on the bench.
Question: who would you be more disappointed if you're the Raiders or the Dogs?
That's a good question.
Like for the Raiders to go out like that, and just because I think the Raiders could have won this comp. I think the Bulldogs could have got to a prelim, and I don't think they could have won the comp.
Yep.
The Raiders had it.
I am more excited about the Raiders moving forward next year than I am the Dogs.
Yeah, but this year.
Yeah, no, I know.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm excited where the Bulldogs are moving as well. They're going to go up as well. The Raiders are going to go up, but that This comp this year was up for about 3 or 4 teams, and they were one of them.
Yeah, Raiders. I'm
Raiders.
more disappointed from Raiders because I thought they could win the comp.
Yeah.
You're right. I didn't think the Bulldogs could win the comp with 5 weeks to go.
No, and they could. Raiders could have won the comp.
Yeah,
So
and
it sucks.
Sticky was clearly frustrated. He needs to quickly regroup. He has a really good young emerging spine. The Fogarty, how they were, I guess the way I can see them, it's going to be hard to improve on what they did because they only lost 4 or 5 games this year. But Tom Starling had a career year, Mace. I think when you look at what Ethan Strange does well,
Can he play?
Blake Austin. I was working with Blake Austin on Saturday, and he brought up the point around he has a little bit worried about Strange next year without having that old head and structure around him, and whether Ethan Sanders can provide that or not. I know he's only young. He's still a lot of good people, a lot of good judges of rugby league think Owen Paddy is going to be the player. I think they strip it back. I don't think they necessarily have creative halves, like even with Ethan Strange. I think Owen Paddy might be their guy to build the team around and almost go back to that old Josh Hodgson model. Remember when it's predicated around their forward pack, their punch, the creativity around the ruck. I know it's a lot to ask of a kid that's only playing his first season.
Play 7 like Ethan Sanders. I mean, like I've seen a little bit of him, but I don't know. I'm not sold.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. He's still got a lot to. I'm interested to see what Sticky does.
That's
next
what's
year.
Coaching. That is coaching. That's Ricky Stewart. That's what he's good at.
All right. At the end of the season too, we've sort of just skimmed through at the back end the Dogs, the Raiders, some of these teams. Once the season's done, we'll have
really
a proper review and have a look at these teams now. But that is it for this week. I can't wait for team list tomorrow. We've got some huge Broncos, Storm, and Panthers. Out of all the teams, Sharkies are the healthiest of every team, and they're probably going in this better than anyone.
Come on, Sharks.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.